Hey everybody, Anna Sabramowicz here. Hope you're having a fabulous Tuesday. Hope everything's going well. Now, today I wanted to talk to you about some skills or skill that you need to develop to be an effective, great even, awesome even, world-class learning designer. It's funny, by the way, if you want to learn more about scenario design, the frameworks that I use, or even just be able to figure out what your specific gaps are so that we can actually work together and I can help you hone in on those skills, what exactly you need to be a great scenario designer and basically a master learning designer. I'll put a link underneath, but you go to scenariodesignSecrets.com/schedule and you'll actually be able to book a session with me so we can talk about what your personal goals are, where you want to take yourself, and then I'll definitely grill you a little bit, find out what your skill set is and what you still need to develop. And if it's a fit and it works, then we might be able to work together. And basically the goal is that we work together as a team to make sure that you develop the skill set that you're looking for. And it's actually kind of cool. I was talking to somebody yesterday, one of my clients, and they said that one of the things they didn't realize, because they're a one-person learning developer, like they do everything in their department that's related to training because it's a smaller company. So there's just that one person. So they have tons of skills, and they go from trying to basically figure out what the project is that is necessary. And they go all the way down to actually building the module and launching it, which is huge, right? But he said one of the things that he really appreciated was when he joined our cohort, our boot camp, is that now he's able to talk to other people that understand what he does and is able to get the kind of valuable feedback that he needs to actually improve his projects. Because what happens is a lot of times he'll share his things with either like a peer or an end user, but like he's sitting around a table, and even though everybody's on the same team, he's the expert in learning. Then there's the project manager, then there's like the HR person, and as much as they're working towards the same goal, nobody knows what the heck he does. And so when he asks for feedback, everybody's like, yeah, that's amazing. But nobody's able to pick it apart and say, hey, are you considering this? Or have you here's another project that you should pull from because it's got similarities. So he said that what he really appreciates is the fact that now he has somebody to really talk to and get feedback from about his actual projects in a technical way, from a learning perspective, not just the end user perspective. So that was really good to hear, because that's definitely what I think is one of the ways to actually improve your skill set. So earlier today, I was actually talking to a leadership expert, and I said, this person's super successful, and also I interviewed her, and that's going to be coming out soon. But one of the things that I asked is, like, she's very successful. She's a published author, multiple books, bestsellers, also speaks at like companies all over the world, hire her to come in and talk. And I said, okay, so not everybody wants to be a huge public speaker, let's say. That's not, I just want to be able to come into a meeting and really share my ideas. How do I do that? How do I do that effectively? How do I persuade people? And that's one of the things you have to realize is a part of your job as a learning designer. It's not just to design learning experiences. Your goal with everything that you do is, let's just be honest, it's propaganda, right? You are trying to get people to move from a certain kind of belief, like, I already know what I'm doing, to, whoa, I need some more training. I need some more help because I thought I knew everything, but I don't. So your job is to persuade those people that spending time with you, investing time with you is a good thing, right? So you got to be persuasive. And then the other thing is that you're trying to introduce new ideas to people, especially your peer group, as far as like the project manager, for him to jump on and work on that project with you, your boss, so that he decides to give you the time and the money to be able to actually invest. in that project, you're not just selling your learners. You're trying to influence and sell your ideas to everybody from the very beginning of that project until it is launched, until afterwards when you have to send out some sort of a feedback survey to say, hey, how did that go? You are an influencer and a persuader all the way from A to Z. It does not stop. You are constantly getting people to not only understanding what they're doing, but then also working your agenda in so that they understand what you're doing and explaining what you do and why and how it's going to help them along the way, right? You are a salesperson. You're an influencer. So I said, let's say your goal isn't to really, go and speak to crowds about motivational topics. What if your goal is to go into that room where everybody's sitting and they have their own ideas about how things should work, and you're coming in and you're going, listen guys, I have this great idea, and we're going to introduce this story-based interactive episode, and it's going to be amazing. And then you get the what, right? Everybody's freaked out. They don't know what you're doing. The immediate answer they think of is no way, I don't want to do that. So how do you walk into those meetings? And let's say you're not as confident as that. How do you build up that confidence, right? To actually be able to pitch your ideas in those meetings. And thank you for joining me, everybody, by the way. Chris and Ahmed, thanks. So there's two ways, and this woman, she was speaking specifically about like learning, right? What's going on? How do you learn to become better at something? She said two things. There's only two ways to get better. First, challenge yourself, and then two, get feedback on performance. Now, when we talk about challenging yourself, she said the first thing you got to do is find every single opportunity every single day to put yourself in a situation where it's uncomfortable for you, or especially if you're trying to develop your skill set to be more persuasive, you have to constantly find opportunities to speak up, because one, that will remove that anxiety of trying to pitch your ideas. That'll become second place. And second, you'll start being seen as the person who actually speaks up and contributes ideas. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can't be a one-off. It has to be constant. So you're constantly putting yourself in a position where you are getting uncomfortable. And that comes with pitching ideas, launching projects, getting feedback. Tons of people are super intimidated by getting feedback. They're very sensitive about it. So if you're really sensitive about it, how do you get over that? You keep on asking for feedback. Feedback, the minute it starts feeling uncomfortable or you have doubts, that means that's a good opportunity for you to grow. So she's like, put yourself in situations where you're constantly uncomfortable. Yes, find them. And you can find them every day. And then the other one is getting feedback on performance. And this one's really important because it's not as clear cut as you might think. Remember I said in the very beginning of this video how you can have a whole team with you, project manager, HR coordinator, your boss, and then you can get feedback on your projects. And because they don't really get what what you do and your specific challenges when you're designing learning, they're not going to give you the kinds of feedback that you need to necessarily move that project further. It's a valuable feedback, and it definitely has its place. But there's different places along that line that you might need something more specific. So when, especially, let's say you're coming in and you're trying to be a more effective, persuasive speaker, don't pick the person who's like the least likely to speak up in that room to give you feedback, because they're going to be like amazed by everything that you do. Whatever they give you is going to be like, that was amazing, right? It's not really helpful. So what you need is you need to pick somebody who's either a peer or up a level, almost a mentor, so that they can give you the kind of feedback that will challenge you. And also because they have the same kind of experience, they'll be able to look at your process a little more analytically, let's say, and say, here you did this, you should try that this way next time, because I've tried this and this is how it works. So really what you need to do is, when you're getting feedback on your performance, don't pick just anybody. You got to be strategic about this. Pick people who are either at the spot you want to be or way above, because they'll be, if they're willing to give you that feedback, that's how you're going to grow. put yourself in those challenging situations, and then get feedback from somebody who is where you want to be. And that's, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this rinse, repeat, you can do this for any skill set, right? And it'll work. So it's not necessarily that you have to have all the specific skill sets to be able to move forward in your career. But there are certain things, especially being a learning designer, that you need to be good at. One of them is being able to persuade people and also influence people. And those things happen through practice and through also very good listening. So practice listening as well. But like I said, challenge yourself. Like maybe today your challenge is to actually just listen a bit more and wait until somebody completely finishes talking and not even have an idea to say afterwards. Just listen. And that might be your challenge, because the minute people feel heard, you actually are more influential the more you listen, which is kind of cool. So I hope that was actually helpful and you enjoyed it. Now, speaking of working with somebody who is an expert in scenarios, I'm that person, and I would actually love to work with you, because the thing is, you can watch as many of these videos as possible. But the only way you're going to get better at this is not by passively sitting back going, yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's awesome. You got to challenge yourself. Challenging yourself means building things, getting feedback from peers who are at the same level, and also getting feedback from a mentor or a coach. And so my mission is to change the world through scenarios. My mission is to make sure that there are tons of awesome interactive episodes out there that are changing people's lives, getting people excited about learning, getting people to realize that, you know, there's more to a situation than they thought. That's my vision. And the only way I can achieve that is not one by one going out on projects, but actually working with people who are affecting that change. So if that's the kind of challenge you're up for and you want to start building up your own skill set, my friends, scenariodesignSecrets.com/schedule. Let's talk, and let's get you to take your scenario design to the next level, build up that confidence so that you can pitch those projects during those meetings, because that's the kind of work that you love to do. All right, have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll talk to you next time.